Hello and good morning friends, welcome to the CEC EduSec live lecture. As we always promise you and bring for you new concepts, new terms, new ideologies which you might have learnt about and which you might have not heard about even, but you need not to worry, because today also we are again with you with a very fresh and new topic, that is on the development communication. We will try to understand what is development communication, what are its core areas, what is a process which is involved in this development communication used, as well as how it contributes to the society, that is communication as a whole, and its contribution to the society. And for this we have in our studio Professor Dr. Devesh Kishore. He is Professor Emeritus and he is a head in journalism and mass communication research department in Makhan Lal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Mass Communication. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest Professor Dr. Devesh Kishore. Welcome to the EduSec lecture, sir, and I would like you to tell in a very elaborative form what is development communication and what are the processes involved in it, as well as what is its concept.
Thank you very much. Well, development communication is not a very new word. It has been being used since time immemorial for the growth of a society. The change agents, the philosophers, philanthropists, all have been using development communication for convincing people to have positive growth. Communication is a process, as all of us know. It persuades the people, it convinces them and leads them to an action. Therefore, development communication has been used extensively all over the world by different societies. In context, if we take the Indian society, even if you take 5,000 years back, the Mahabharata, where Lord Krishna gives advice to Arjuna, and then he communicates. Even today, some of his dialogues and what he has said, people use it in different walks of life. So therefore, development communication is a very old phenomena which has been used at different times for different purposes, as development communication is the way through which you can convince people for development. In India, we have been using various channels of communication. Just about 100 years back, if you analyze, you will find print media as one of the most important channel of communication. Even in independence, in those years, Gandhiji used print media. His famous paper Harijan, Lala Lajpat Rai used print media. There are a number of examples which will give you an idea how print media has been used for communicating the development of the society to the people, how it could be done. Even if you take radio, in 1940s, the rural broadcasts were started by radio stations, and the interesting example is called Radio Rice. Many people know Radio Rice. There was nothing like Radio Rice, but that rice variety was communicated through radio to the people, and it was described first time on the basis of broadcast to the people, and people adopted it and they got bumper crop, and therefore they named it as Radio Rise. It is very interesting phenomena. After radio, the next growth which took place was of the electronic media. Before we go to that, we should be very clear about the meaning of development communication. Development communication consists of two words. One is development and there is communication. The question is, what is development? We always consider development as a positive growth, and that growth related with the society, whether it be social growth, economic growth, cultural growth, even political growth, any growth which takes place in the society can be called development. In individual, if there is positive change in his attitude, personality development, and other areas like knowledge development, skill development, now they are all parts of development. So in nutshell we can say development means the growth could be related to the society, growth could be related to the individuals, it could be in different areas, it could be in terms of his knowledge, attitude, way of thinking and way of doing. Now these three things, components, that is knowledge, skill and attitude, which makes a behavior of an individual. If you change these three things or even one thing of, then individual's personality is changed. So development communication means to promote development using any communication process, because development when leads through communication becomes development communication. Development can take place even without communication. How? For example, an individual you want to develop, give him 10,000 rupees as a subsidy or as a donation, and this amount of money will help him in changing his standard of living. There will be development. But this development which has taken place, it is because of subsidy, or it is because of donation, or it is because of direct help given to him. But it will not be called development through communication. Development communication will be called when you teach that person how to earn more money, how to grow better crops, how to perform better profession. And that is why very old Chinese proverbs becomes true. If you teach a person how to catch a fish, then you are developing him. Instead of giving him a fish every day. Giving him fish every day means you are just giving him, he will not be able to learn anything. But if you teach him how to catch a fish, then he will start himself catching a fish and improve himself. Therefore, development communication is a persuasive process, is a process by which he changes his skill and then he develops himself in terms of his personality, in terms of standard of living, whatever area it could be called. Therefore, development communication becomes very important for developing the society. Now, it can be called a social process, which is based on communication methodologies, and these methodologies use different types of tools to convey the message that will bring change for betterment and growth of the receivers. That is very important. So we must take care of that communication methodologies. There are several communication methodologies which we will discuss, which can be used by the development communicator to convey the messages that will bring the change in the society and in the members of the group. So therefore, actually communication for development is participation and ownership by people themselves facing developmental issues. That means development communication encourages people to participate in the development process and have a feeling that this development which is taking place, it is my own development. If you recall, some of our projects failed, development projects, because the people did not participate in them. They said this is a government project, government is doing it. In that way, they did not participate, they did not get involved, and they never thought this is our thing. For example, there are a lot of examples. Burning buses. Something happened, you burn the bus. Now whose bus is this? This is your bus. Government has purchased from taxpayers' money for your benefit, and if you burn it, then you have lost it. It may take another number of years to get a bus. Then how do you go from place to place? Now that feeling is not there in the people. They think this is a government bus. No, it's not government. That's what development communication is important. They must be explained. This is your bus. This is meant for you. This has been purchased out of your money. Therefore, do not destroy it. Now that type of feeling, perhaps this feeling has not been there because earlier the government was from different country, British government. So therefore, when the people want to take revenge, they will burn a bus. They will burn a railway station. Because they think this is a British railway station, British bus. But now that is not true. We should change our attitude and way of thinking. And this can be done only through communication process, using various media for communication purposes. I show you a diagram where there are 3 circles. One circle there in this diagram is the green circle. Now green circle indicates the development circle. Then there is a pink circle which indicates communication, and there is a blue circle which indicates the society So there are three participants in development communication: society, which is a blue circle; development inputs is another circle; and communication is another circle. All three circles are being used in the process, and you will see a common area which is shown by black color, which is common between green, blue and pink. I have not shown the area which is not common. Now this black area is the real area covered by development communication. Therefore, when development communication takes place, it covers partial area of the society. It does not cover the whole society at a time. It may expand later on, but when the program starts, it starts from a smaller area, from a smaller community, from group of individuals, where development inputs are given, where communication inputs are given, and then you find a smaller area of the society. So therefore, development communication is a difficult process. It takes time. It does not take place at a very fast speed. Therefore, in our country also, we have taken so much of time to grow. But interesting thing to note in this month, what has happened in the country, हमारे देश में क्या हुआ? चुनाव। और इस बार चुनाव का मुद्दा क्या था? विकास, डेवलपमेंट. The party who won the election, their issue was development, not caste, not religion, not inputs, but development. Because people have started understanding there is no point giving a lot of emphasis for a particular religion or for a particular caste. The most important thing is development. If you are able to develop the smaller area of the society, that is the biggest thing. आजकल विकास का मुद्दा रहा, चाहे वो राज्य थे, बिहार में आई गवर्नमेंट, वो भी राज्य विकास के मुद्दे पे आई, और अब जो राष्ट्रीय गवर्नमेंट आई, अपनी नेशनल गवर्नमेंट स्वीप करके आई, वो सिर्फ विकास पर आई, रिलीजन के नाम से नहीं, कास्ट के नाम से नहीं, एरिया के नाम से नहीं. What I am trying to say is development is the most important thing. If development does not take place, then what is the use? ग्रोथ नहीं हुई सोसाइटी की, लोगों की ग्रोथ नहीं हुई, लोगों को एजुकेशन नहीं मिली, उनको जॉब्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, तो उनकी ग्रोथ ही नहीं हो रही है. और जब भी ग्रोथ नहीं हो रही है तो उस गवर्नमेंट की क्या जरूरत है? Therefore, we should understand that development communication is the most important process. If you are not able to communicate development, अगर आप विकास के नाम पर कुछ नहीं किया आपने, लोगों को जॉब्स नहीं मिले, लोगों का ग्रोथ नहीं हुई, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स नहीं मिले जहाँ वो पढ़ सकें, या उनको एजुकेशन नहीं मिली, या रहने के लिए जो बेसिक नीड्स हैं उनकी 3, शेल्टर, फूड, एजुकेशन, तो डेवलपमेंट नहीं हुआ. और आजकल लोगों को समझ में आया कि डेवलपमेंट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Hence, development communication has become a very important area ऑफ स्टडी। और कैसे करना चाहिए डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन, वो भी आपने देखा इस चुनाव में, किस तरह मीडिया यूज किया गया, चाहे वो रेडियो था या टेलीविजन था या न्यूज़पेपर था, सोशल मीडिया। आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल of development communication. This present election happened in this country, where communication was very important input. रुपए बांटने से, कपड़ा बांटने से, अनाज बांटने से नहीं होता, वो पहले हुआ करता था। इस बार का जो है सारा कम्युनिकेशन से हुआ, और सारी कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजीज बनाई गई, कम्युनिकेशन चैनल्स को यूज किया गया, हर एक के पास थ्रू कम्युनिकेशन पहुंचा गया। यहां तक कि लोगों ने यह कहा कि मीडिया खरीद लिया गया। मीडिया नहीं खरीदा गया, ये तो स्ट्रेटजी बनाई गई कि मीडिया को, कम्युनिकेशन को कैसे हम डेवलपमेंट में यूज करें इफेक्टिवली, सो दैट पीपल आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड। तो अब क्वेश्चन यह है कि रोल क्या है डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर का। डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर का रोल है बेसिकली लोगों को परसुएड करे, परसुएशन मतलब राजी करे, उनको बाय फोर्स ना करे, उनको कन्विंस करे, परसुएड करे by using various media। सारे मीडिया को आप यूज कीजिए और सोसाइटी को बताइए कि कैसे ग्रोथ होगी आपकी। अगेन आई एम टेकिंग द एग्जांपल ऑफ द इलेक्शन। इन दिस इलेक्शन, those who were able to communicate very effectively by using different channels of communication, they were successful. Nowadays have come when individuals have to be development communicators. If you do not know how to communicate, then you are gone. Because the people understand basically the communication input for their development. This has been proved beyond any doubt. The earlier strategies which you might have observed in election, which were used distributing money or distributing inputs, different types of liquors and all that, and people used to get the votes and get elected. This time it has not helped. It has not, because people have understood the whole process of development communication. So the development communication communicator, जो विकास संचारक हैं, उनको बेसिकली ये जानना चाहिए कि हम कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजी कैसे बनाएं और उस कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजी में चैनल्स को कैसे यूज करें और उन चैनल से इफेक्टिवली हम लोगों के पास कैसे पहुंचे और उनको कैसे परसुएड करें, कन्विंस करें। ये बेसिक रोल है डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर का। जो डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर्स ये रोल प्ले कर सकते हैं, then they will be successful in achieving their objectives. Now, next question is कि अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को कैसे अचीव कर सकता है, ए डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर कैसे कर सकता है। नंबर 1, आई पुट डाउन सम ऑफ द पॉइंट्स फॉर योर कंसिडरेशन एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग। अगर इनको यूज़ किया जाए तो ऐसा लगता है कि हम विकास को कम्युनिकेशन के थ्रू फास्ट स्पीड पे कर सकेंगे. नंबर 1, he has to understand the process of development communication. मैं समझता हूँ कि हर व्यक्ति को जो विकास करना चाहता है, ये विकास में हिस्सेदारी करना चाहता है, रोल प्ले करना चाहता है, पहले उसको डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन समझना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन, व्हाट इज प्रोसेस, व्हाट आर इट्स कंपोनेंट्स. और ये एक ट्रेनिंग इनपुट उस व्यक्ति को देना ज़रूरी है, सो दैट ही अंडरस्टैंड्स द होल प्रोसेस ऑफ डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन. नंबर 2, he should know the tools of communication. That is, in other words, how to write a story for print media, or how to give an interview for print media, or what to talk for print media. समाचार पत्र के लिए कैसे बोले, कैसे लिखें. अगर आप रेडियो पे जा रहे हैं तो रेडियो की स्क्रिप्ट कैसे बनाएं, रेडियो में इंटरव्यू कैसे दें, रेडियो में किस चीज़ को ध्यान में रखें. अगर आप टेलीविज़न यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो उसकी क्या लिमिटेशंस हैं, क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं, कैसे यूज़ करना चाहिए. अब नया सोशल मीडिया यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो कैसे करें सोशल मीडिया को यूज़. In this selection, social media has been used extensively. Whether it was a Twitter, whether it is a Facebook, so many has been extensively used. Those who do not know how to use it, they are gone. Why? Because these are the tools of communication. You must have basic understanding of the tools. So as a development communicator or a student of development communication, you must know about all these channels of communication. In addition to interpersonal communication, how to talk with the individuals, then you come to the groups of group communication, and then you come to the mass communication. Even group communication, you must understand how to deliver a good lecture, how to make people happy through your lectures without giving wrong information and wrong promises. That you should understand. Therefore, you should have the knowledge of various tools of communication. If you do not have the knowledge, then you will not be able to process your information which will suit to these tools. So the first was the process of development communication, second the tools of communication, that is the channels of communication. Third, which is also very important for a development communicator, or you is becoming the student of development communicator, you must know the receivers, that is the audience to whom you are going to communicate. You must know their needs, you must know their value system, and you must know priorities. I will not name a person, but you must have seen yourself, observed yourself, how a person toured has gone to all over the India and delivered speeches to the people who came to listen to him, almost crowd, and when he spoke, he kept in mind their needs, their value system, and also what are their प्रायोरिटीज। अगर आप बिहार में गए तो क्या बोलेंगे, आपकी क्या प्रायोरिटीज होंगी? पंजाब में जाएंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे? हिमाचल प्रदेश में जाएंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे? चेन्नई में जाएंगे तो क्या बोलेंगे? ये सब चीजें ध्यान में रखनी है। उनके वैल्यू सिस्टम क्या है, उनकी जरूरतें क्या है। अगर ये ध्यान में रखा आपने तो आपको लोग सुनेंगे, वरना क्यों सुनेंगे? आपकी बात हम क्यों समझेंगे? अगर कोई कुछ और बात कह रहा है जिसमें हमारा कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है, मेरी ज़रूरत की बात ही नहीं कर रहा है, मेरे से संबंधित कोई चीज़ नहीं है, तो मैं क्यों सुनूंगा उसको? तो इसलिए ए डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेटर को बोलने से पहले, कम्युनिकेट करने से पहले उस ऑडियंस की क्या नीड्स हैं, क्या वैल्यू सिस्टम है, क्या उनकी प्रायोरिटीज हैं, उन सबको जानना ज़रूरी है। तो 3 चीज़ें क्या हो गई? पहला, डेवलपमेंट कम्युनिकेशन प्रोसेस मालूम होना चाहिए, दूसरा टूल्स मालूम होने चाहिए, तीसरा ऑडियंस मालूम होनी चाहिए, चौथा, which is again a very important point for a development communicator, you must prepare development messages. Prepare means what? Means you must put them in such an interesting style so that the people remember it, people like it, people understand it. So message has to be written, rewritten, and you should have that quality as a development communicator, how to write the messages so that the audience will like it. How should I prepare my message? Keeping in mind the various types of channels, keeping in mind the various types of subjects, keeping in mind the various types of audience. I must be skilled. I must know how to write the message for these channels. Now, this is a very important thing. If you do not know, then you will not be able to communicate the whole process of development. So therefore, this is another important point, preparing the message according to the channel which you are going to use. Now, let us understand in greater detail how various media can be extensively used and how these medias, various type of media, are playing roles. We have basically print media, electronic media. Electronic we include radio, television, and third, social media. These are broader categories, and when we are using these categories of the channels, we have to be especially very careful. In case of print media, as we know, print media can be used only by those people who are literate, who can read and write, or who can read at least, if not write. So the limitation of print media is it goes to only those people who are literate. It doesn't reach to those people who are not literate. So therefore, we should know the limitation. If you are using a print media for development communication, then you know those audience has been cut off from the reach who are not literate. Sometimes it may be 40%, sometimes it may be 60%, sometimes it may be 30%. That you have to find out. If I am communicating this message through print media in this area, then what is the percentage of the people who are literate? So I am likely to reach only those percent. Rest I am not likely to reach. So print media plays an effective role, no doubt. But the problem is this. However, some of the development communicators have tried to take care of this problem. So what they are doing, instead of writing stories, they are using posters. So just person seeing a poster will be able to get the message. For example, you must have seen in this election, people have used different symbols. If somebody had put a lotus flower, then everybody knows it's a BJP. If somebody has put the bicycle, then this is the party. So therefore, symbols have been used in the posters, in the leaflets, in the pamphlets, magazines. So if there are people who are, you find that you have to reach them, who are not literate, then you can use posters, charts, big banners, so that people will be able to interpret it just by seeing it, visualizing it. But that care has to be taken. So number one was the print media. Number two is the broadcast media. There are two broadcast media, radio and television. Let's take the radio. Radio has been used extensively from at least almost more than 100 years. We have been using it, and government is also extensively using it. Now we have FM radios, community radio. I am told about 400 community radio stations have been established, and government is going to grant another 1,000 community radio licenses, and also funding some of the equipment, basic equipment for community radio. Why? The purpose is the community which is in a fixed geographical area, they should be able to interact among themselves. They should feel that they are participating. Otherwise, you live in a place and you never know the next person. So community radio can play that role, where you have a half kilowatt transmitter, and this half kilowatt transmitter can broadcast about 15 kilometers, 10 to 15 kilometers. Sometimes it looks very funny. In a newspaper I see early morning, accident has taken place near Tokyo. What do I do in Tokyo? But accident has taken place in my colony is not there in the newspaper. Who were the people who were affected of my residential colony is not there. I am not interested what happened near the Tokyo and near the Istanbul. What shall I do for that? I am more interested what happened to my neighboring streets. पास के मोहल्ले में क्या हुआ, मुझे उसमें इंटरेस्ट है. मेरे पड़ोसियों क्या हुआ, मुझे उसमें इंटरेस्ट है. तो इसलिए कम्युनिटी रेडियोस are the answers. Without any much expenditure, you can set up community radios. And community radio can play a very big role in development communication. Therefore, there is lot of emphasis being given to community radio all over the country. Even the receiving set is very easily available on a less cost. मैंने देखा एक पेन का रिसीविंग था 20 रुपए का, 30 रुपए का. तो receiving sets are very cheap. Moreover, those who are having transports like car, taxis, all have the FM radio sets, inexpensive. So therefore, broadcast media are very important tools to be used extensively by the development communicators on the basis of different communities. And then you can build the community, bring the development to them. So therefore, broadcast media, especially the radio, is very important. Second broadcast media is television. And you know, in this country television came very late. It came only in 1959. But we picked up very fast. Our programs are no less effective. हमारे जितने भी टेलीविज़न के कार्यक्रम आ रहे हैं, काफ़ी अच्छा प्रोडक्शन है उनका. अगर आप लाइटिंग इफ़ेक्ट देखें, साउंड इफ़ेक्ट देखें, एक्टिंग देखें, रिकॉर्डिंग देखें, तो बहुत अच्छा है. और हमारा ये प्रोग्राम, स्पेशली कृषि दर्शन प्रोग्राम जो है, that is basically devoted to development of agriculture, is very popular. There are several other programs like magazine programs on marketing, weather, government schemes. Now through all these programs are being telecast, and I think today people have more information about the various programs of the government for the benefit of the people. The famous site experiment in 1975, which was conducted, and it proved without doubt that this can be done. Even your channel on which you are seeing the program, Vyas channel, is also a part of development communication. You are able to get a lot of information in relation to various educational programs. So taking the education to the doorstep of the audience is a big development objective. Otherwise, you will have to go take admission, go to a classroom, deposit the fees, attend the lectures. Now here you can sitting at home or sitting at study center. You can receive, you can listen to the speakers, listen to their views, you can ask questions. It's all up to you. So it's extensively, it is being used even in education. Therefore, television is another important channel of communication for the purpose of development. Now we come to the new media, which is social media basically. Now what are these? They are famous, there are so many now, but I can name Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blogs. Even this program I am told is available on YouTube. So if you have facility, if you have a small laptop or whatever, you can watch the program anytime through YouTube. And if you have missed it, the telecast, never mind it. Open the YouTube and you get the program. You are not deprived of valuable information. So therefore, lot of development messages are being released through social media. Our communication is being done. Actually, social media has provided a platform to the development communicators to convey the message convincingly and see that it is adopted at a faster speed. Moreover, platform is available also for the audience. If they want to put their questions and raise their doubts or certain complications, they are free to do it. And it doesn't cost you. Therefore, social media, development communicator can use it to a great extent for communicating the development messages. That care has to be taken. So there are three. Number one, I said print. Number two, broadcast media. And number three, new media. Why I have mentioned these three? Because these are three very important tools of communication. As a development communicator, you must know your tools. You must know how to use them. You must know their limitation and advantages. You must know how to write a message for these purposes. And then how do you prepare strategies? By using all the media together for development purposes. For a focused theme, that care has to be taken. Now, let us see what are the core areas of development. I think most of us know core areas of development. I have just put down some of the areas which are very important. For example, agriculture, very important. We are basically an agricultural country. In agriculture, fisheries is important, animal husbandry is important, food security, irrigation. Actually, if we are able to develop this, we can give lot of employment to the people. In agriculture, let's say we grow rice or wheat or whatever. What yield we are getting per hectare in comparison to China, neighboring country, the production is 10 times less. We can increase the production in case of agriculture by using scientific methods, agriculture at least we can increase 3 times, 4 times. That means lot of work has to be done, information to be given through communication for development of agriculture. Of course, efforts are being made. Now you must have seen on the television there is a toll-free line 24 hours available for anybody to ask any question related to agriculture and allied sciences. It's a great facility. If I have a problem in my kitchen garden, then I can just lift the telephone, no expenses, no call charges, ring up the toll-free number, and there is a person to reply your call. Now this is a use of telephones for development purposes. It can increase employment. We can handle the environment more effectively. It could be income generation. It could be great thing, could be women empowerment. Women sitting at home can get lot of information. What can they do for the market? How they can contribute? How they can earn money? What are the ways to do it? Now that can be used. So the development communicators will have to see that these core areas of development, how they can be handled as best for these purposes. If I summarize the whole thing, what I have tried to emphasize in this presentation is that how a development communicator can use various types of communication inputs, channels, messages, so that development takes place in the society. That care has to be taken. In development communication, the individual who wants to become development communicator, suppose some of you would like to take the responsibility of development communicators, then it means you will have to study the communication strategies, how to build a communication strategy. That means when you prepare a program that is called communication plan for communicating the messages, then you decide how much will be the print media, how much will be the broadcast media, how much will be the social media. That means you will have media mix plan. No one channel is effective or can reach to all the people. You have to prepare a media mix plan, keeping in mind the audience. This media mix plan, if it is effectively used by you as a development communicator, you will be able to communicate more effectively to the people. What my observation is, nowadays you will find people who are specialized in use of a particular communication input. Maybe he may be good in radio, he may be good in television, he may be good in social media. I think a person who wants to be really effective development communicator, then he need not to specialize in these areas, but he has to understand the potentiality of each medium, their limitations, and how to prepare message for these channels of communication is very important. So those development communicator will be effective who has basically understood these channels of communication and are trying to build up the message on the basis keeping in view these channel itself. And today's presentation, I gave the example of present election. I think present election is a very good case study for development communication. To communicate to 125 crores of people is not an easy task. Located, as you know, geographically, India is a big country. I am told a particular leader of a party has travelled so much that if he would have to take the round of the earth, he could have done 3 times. That means he has travelled so much and he tried to communicate to the people. So it's a gigantic task. But even gigantic task can be handled properly if you use communication inputs effectively, and then it becomes much easier. I think this will give you an idea, and if you are students of development communication, I would suggest you study the whole process of communication used in this past 2 months by various organizations, how they build these strategies and how they have used those communication channels.
You have laid very good examples while explaining this development communication. With the present context, you have explained how development communication is in the process. We just know to analyze it, read it, and as Sir said, for those who want to be in the field of development communication, they need to be a good communicator as well as they need to understand the root cause of the problems. Only then they can be or they can contribute in the field of development communication. Thank you so very much, Dr. Devesh Kishore, for being with us in the EduSet lecture of ours. Thank you.